If you know me, you know I'm big on Fridays because it's right next to Saturday. See, no offense, ladies, but welcome to our very first Hot Topic special of the year 2025. And we're so ready to get into the hot topics that have reigned supreme in this past few days. Or should I say since last year? See what I did there? So, ladies, did you guys try the meditation Adiola taught us yesterday?
I actually did.
You did?
And I downloaded the app. Not, no, you know we talked about the app, but I downloaded.
So what does the app do?
So the app will guide. It will take you through a series of. So the things she did here with us yesterday, it will take you through a series of visualizations. So you decide when you want to do it. So I did it when I was going to bed. Those last 10 minutes, and before I put my phone down, it'll play. If you like rain sounds, if you like nature sounds, it'll do all of that for you. And then you'll hear a voice be speaking calmly in your ear. But man, it's so difficult sometimes for me to turn my brain off.
Yeah.
I would like to. I've yet to see all the flies and birds that you do when you do the meditation. Maybe I've not been able to quiet my mind yet. And my phone's spoiled. So I'm not in a good mood.
With phones? Please, how did it spoil?
It just went blank.
No, please.
Honestly.
It's village people.
It's village people. I just want to finish work and go to the Savior Arena. I wonder what will be taken out of me this early January.
Phone. No.
If you know how much iPhones are now.
Please, let's mention. It's you people. Blessings, did you try it?
Well, to be honest, I was too caught up in reality. I was doing the Operation Sleep in my house yesterday. Because I just kept saying, let me just move and, stay in my own house today. So I went to the house, got my dog, went back, and I was so busy unpacking and repacking, and then when I checked
So you left Asha in a strange place today?
Well, I brought him home. That should be a plus for me. I brought him home from home. But anyway, I slept up at 1:30. So
it's a new environment.
Yes, it takes getting used to.
It is. So because I'm on the 3rd floor, when I was packing.
Who will be helping you to climb
well, it was intentional. So, a little bit of exercise here and there. I like that. So when I was packing yesterday, the first 2 times he came with me. The 3rd time he just laid on the floor.
He left you.
It was just going down. You look at me, I'm panting. Come on. He just lay flat on the floor. So I had to carry the box and him.
At the same time. Oh my God.
He knows what is up. He knows what is up. He's like, did I ask you to move?
Oh my God.
Don't mind the drama.
It's just like it reminded me of when we went to London briefly. Tolu was on the 5th floor.
You said
and
so.
It was like a 2-wing apartment. So that wing doesn't have the lift. Blessing. It's like all of us will be going, you'll be It was terrible.
How did you do it with makeup?
No, it was very hard. I cannot lie to you. It was one of the hardest things I did. So all the holiday, jolly, I'm sure all the calories died.
Was coming out.
Even my other sister came to visit. She and her husband just stayed comfortably downstairs. We visited in the cold. So, Malo, all the 2 boxes she now brought me, I had to log up. No, I suffered.
It's okay.
It's not normal.
So
how can I meditate in the midst of all these challenges?
And off air with her yesterday, we were talking about the fact that Nigerians might find this strange because, one, we're constantly on the hustle, we're on the grind, we're always looking for the next thing, the next way to make money, the next way to keep our money. And that situation of just staying still. Too many people struggle with it. Let's be honest. We grow up and we become adults and we struggle to just stay still in one place. Staying still doesn't mean no action, no movement. And I think that's what too many of us think it's about. It just means being still within and of yourself.
That would be do you know how much chaos lies within us?
Yes.
This simple thing you're talking, it takes a lot of training and retraining your mind. Even me, that I like to go inside. Sometimes.
It's better.
No, not all the time.
I want you to quantify it.
No, not all the time. But sometimes, let me say I've succeeded in shutting external noise. I'm still working on how to shut the internal noise, one. Because now I'm comfortable with me. Before, I could hardly stay on my own. But now, if I'm in my room or I'm doing something, I'm totally fine. Unlike before that, no. I'm struggling against the stillness of the noise around me.
It will surprise you how much your mind controls your body. I've realized that I can be very restless. And I think a lot of people are in that category where you want to lie down. Okay, you said you designated 4 hours to lie down and just do nothing, just watch movies. But in between, I find myself just pressing pause and just going about when my mind has thought about so
Wonder.
many
So
things,
many
and then I
things.
stand up and start looking for unnecessary things. And I'm like, why am I even studying? And then after that 4 hours, I'm like, did I actually rest?
No, you
Because
did
my
not.
mind was just thinking of so many things, and then eventually my mind controlled my body to stand up and start looking around for what did not lost.
And I think it's so when you talk to Adeola and people like her, you can see she exudes this aura of peacefulness and
Yes.
calmness. Like there's no way that you'll be in her vicinity or be around her that you yourself will not slow down.
Yes.
You yourself will not have to just
Yeah.
calm
Yes.
down. And that ability in which you can calm your external, block the external and control your internal, the things that it can unlock in the possibilities. And that's why one of the things I always speak about is make your home a sanctuary.
Yeah.
Man, we hustle and we bustle and we fight at work. Not fight per se, but you know, we're always climbing. We're climbing the corporate ladder. We're hustling for everything. Too many of us go home and home is not a sanctuary. Whether it's the people in the house with you or even how you set up. And you know, when you look at so many different cultures, they talk about how things are placed around you. Like with this one, I was looking at my room like, no, this weekend is a total overhaul. Like if you subscribe a bit to what some of the Asian countries, I think it's Japanese, Feng Shui, I'm saying it wrong.
Feng Shui
Feng Shui, it's about how air and vibrations or whatever move around you. And so like certain things like your doors need to be able to fully open. By the time you have something in front of the door that is not fully, you're blocking it. It's fascinating. It can also be terrifying. It can also be a rabbit hole that you go down. But it's just about giving yourself space. If you like certain scents, they calm you, incorporate those scents. Don't clutter everywhere.
I think when I travel this next time, I find nature very calming, and I think everybody does find
there's
something.
a Japanese word for why we should be in nature.
Everybody should.
I think it's ikigai.
Something like that, yes.
And I think that all this deforestation is part of our problems. When we went to Ekiti, I cannot lie to you, you can actually feel the air change.
Yes.
From when you leave urban areas to when you get to places where you have dense forests. We're doing a lot of harm to ourselves in urban areas. And that is why you must make sure that your home, at least, that's why I hardly have people in my house, because I like the sanctity when the kids are not there.
Like you're wishing.
Yeah, desperately. But just like Tolu said, a lot of people don't set up their house in a way that they can like it.
Yeah.
So invest in the place that you call your nest. Even birds do it. When they are having a baby, if you see the way they put a lot of energy into, you know, arranging the nest and making sure that it's comfortable for what is expected. That's how we should make our home, so that that little space is yours.
Is yours. There are even plants that you can buy in your home that are good for filtering the air. They don't take a lot of maintenance. They don't need a lot of water. They're self-sufficient, but they can help even in filtering the air. Because right now we all live in Lagos. We're breathing all kinds of things. Is it generator exhaust? Is it car exhaust? Is it all the natural and unnatural waste that's in the streets? All of it is coming into our senses.
So I hope this year you're not going to bring crystals to this table.
I don't know.
Actually, I'm beginning to feel the crystal energy coming.
Which is why when you said it's terrifying, I absolutely agree, because it's a rabbit hole. If you, especially if you're a person of faith, if you're not careful, it can divert your faith into something else. Even as I'm saying this, I know that I have a boundary I don't cross. I read about it, I understand it. I might incorporate a few aspects of it, but I don't let it take over my life. But you know, whether it's crystals, it's horoscope, it's feng shui, be careful what you consume. Even here, be careful of what you allow in here as well. All right, we're going to go for a quick break because we have some hot topics for you. When we return, we'll dive into the week's hottest stories. We're talking Burna Boy, DJ Colette opting out of her marriage after 8 months, President Tinubu finding himself topping a less than distinguished list, and a hero's welcome for Blessing's former governor, for the former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, who is on bail during a case with the EFCC. But we'll start with an update on a boy who was sentenced to death for stealing a chicken in Ogun State. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Honestly, I mean, that feng shui mode this morning. But you know what, who we are on this table. We always try to teach you new things you do not know before. So welcome again. It's Hot Topic Special with us on Jasiri Table, and you're watching News Central Television. We are here Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. WAT. That is West Africa time. So mark it down on your calendars. It's very important. We should be a part of your day on a daily basis. So ladies, let's do what we came here to do. Tolu, honestly, I'm so happy for that boy, his family, for what his family did for him. Shegolowo Kere, whose story went viral after his parents appeared on a podcast about his death sentence, has been released from Kirikiri Correctional Center after being granted clemency by the Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke. Olowo Okere, along with Morakinyo Sunday, was sentenced to death 14 years ago, that is in 2010, by an Osun State High Court over conspiracy and stealing of chicken. The governor granted them and 51 others clemency on the 24th of December.
To God that God has crowned my year with his goodness. This is Segun Olowo Okere. We're just leaving Kirikiri. It's finally out of the correctional center. Thank you so much for the love that we get. Thank you so much for the support. Segun is a very good guy. The testimony even at the correctional center was...
That woman has spent almost the fortune. Take yours. And then who is coming on? Is that yours? Is that yours that you're ready for just 10 minutes? No, I've not seen Zacchaeus. Don't tell me 100%. When I say Zacchaeus, then I know what you're talking about. Are you ready? Zacchaeus, are you there? Gbogbo ọmọ ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun ló ń gbàdúrà fún ẹ, gbogbo wọn náà ti ń pray pé kọ́ máa jẹ́ kó jáde, gbogbo àwọn tó ń jókòó ìpátápátá gbogbo wọn ló.
Now, this story has caused a lot of controversy, actually, from the beginning. So he spent 10 years on death row for stealing some hens and eggs, and he had been pardoned, or rather promised a pardon by the governor when the story broke, I think in late November. We took it in early December, from the lady you saw at first, who actually was the one who spoke to her, to his parents. He was 17 years old in 2010 when him and his accomplice, Morakinyo Sunday, were arrested. Now, they were said to have attacked the home of a police officer and another person with an old-fashioned wooden gun and a sword, but only got away with poultry. So initially, when the story came out, he was sentenced to death for hanging. He was sentenced to death by hanging for stealing a chicken. As we went on, we found out that they said it was more than just stealing a chicken. It was conspiracy, I think armed robbery as well. Then in 2014, Justice Jide Falola of the Osun State High Court sentenced the two of them to death by hanging after they were found guilty of forcefully breaking into the police officer's house and stealing his belongings. Now, they were then moved to the notorious Kirikiri prison, where they were, of course, put in the death row wing. So there are different aspects of this story. He has a, let's start from this. He has a second chance. Yes. 17 years old. He's 27 now. Yeah. I'm happy. He has gotten a pardon. Whatever you feel about the pardon, has gotten a pardon. I hope it doesn't stop at a pardon, because he wasn't able to finish school. What skills does he have now? He needs rehabilitation. He needs upskilling as well, maybe a craft or a trade. So I do hope that it's a bit more comprehensive, particularly in his situation.
But Tolu, do you know that before, we used to see like every year where the president would pardon some people. I think it's something we should make a part of, like our years.
No, governors do it. They tend to do it a lot on a yearly exercise.
When they do that, it kind of gives hope, especially at the beginning of a year. And there's so many people that are waiting trial, a lot of people that needs to be...
But you can't be pardoned for a waiting trial if you can only
when you have not even been tried or convicted.
So again, that's a conversation that needs to be had, because I know that out of the 51 that were pardoned, there are probably people who were innocent. So that's why I mean, I don't really know about, extending more grace to him in terms of, you know, financial aid and all, if it's just his own situation, because there are other people that didn't even commit the offense. Yeah, exactly. Okay, 53 in total. So there are other people that probably didn't even commit the offense that they were jailed for. Yeah. And my question is, sometimes I don't know the balance when it comes to law and you know, judiciary. You see cases where a girl child is raped and probably even killed, and then you're hearing maybe 20, 25
You're not hearing
years.
death. Yeah. So it depends on the statutes of the law, the limitations, because Nigerian judges will tell you they are only able to sentence within the ambit of the law.
You know, so there's minimum to maximum.
Exactly. If that crime doesn't have death penalty as a consequence, they can't give it. Yeah. So that's the conversation. Again, that's why I said this kind of conversation brings up so many. And the other part of the conversation I want us to look at is the fact that the governor of the state said that, let me get he said, I have directed the Commissioner of Justice to initiate processes to grant prerogative of mercy to the young man. Osun is a land of justice and equity. We must ensure fairness and the protection of the sanctity of lives. There are so many, there are enough people on death row across Nigeria. And there are people who have been on death row for several years. But the state's governors oftentimes refuse to sign the warrant of death. If we need to have a national conversation and say as a nation, we no longer want the death penalty, please let's do it and take it off the books. Because it feels like this hanging in balance. You never know that if a new governor gets elected now, he may be the one that says, you know what, you've been convicted, you've been sentenced, I will sign. But a lot of the governors say they can't sign, it's against their beliefs, it's against... So why is it on the law books? Let's have a conversation about death penalty. Do we need to repeal it in totality and know that it is life sentence that is the maximum for whatever type of crime we as a society decides deserves the life sentence? So a lot of conversations
I hope the National Assembly would hear you. This would be one of the things they'll put on the table, except maybe rats and goats eat some things this January. No, we've had it in the beginning of the year one time when what infested the house, was it ants
or something?
Was it before or after the
rats or the...
There's been snake, there's been baboon.
You know, animal farm situation.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But we wish him the very best. There are a lot of conversations about this story, how people feel about it, but what has happened has happened. He's lost 10 years of his life. Is there a possibility for him to be able to become something else, regardless of the past that he has had? And the governor has done what the governor has done. So we look forward to seeing...
Kudos to you. Kudos.
The pardon
And I was looking forward to him dancing, though. Welcoming him with joy.
Maybe he did later, but at this point, there was a lot of emotions in the air.
Adeleke without the dance.
Doesn't seem like an Adeleke. Talking governors, you cannot.
Okay,
take your story.
Okay, I will take this story because you can't shame the shameless. I don't want to hear versus your former governor, your this, your that. I will take it myself. So, just to put a disclaimer out there, Yaya Bello is not my governor, right? He's the former governor of Kogi State, not my personal governor. Anyways, on Thursday, he returned to Okene, his hometown. Okene.
Okay, sorry, she's the one from Kogi State. I'm with you.
Okene local government. He returned to Okene after it was granted a 500 million naira bill by the Federal High Court in Abuja. Let's just say his people were very happy to see him.
Are you kidding me? What am I missing?
Shame is entering my eye. I'm so
sometimes
embarrassed. Honestly,
when I watch some things in the country and I see how people, even if you were paid, I'm wondering what happened to the conscience of the people.
But wait, isn't everybody innocent until proven guilty? I really want us to put this out there. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty.
But proven guilty. But even at that, the celebration, the court is, the case is not done yet.
No, it's not.
He hasn't been exonerated. He's just been granted bail. So if it becomes exonerated, are we going to see fireworks?
They'll do
Would there be?
And there is no smoke without fire. Even if you're innocent of this crime, there's no smoke without fire. It's been a long time coming. We've heard different instances where they're saying, "Oh, he siphoned money. He did this. He did that." The mammoth crowd coming to welcome someone, and I'm wondering, do they not have TV? Are they not following the news? I don't know if this is illiteracy, if this has to do with greed.
If this is, see the convoy?
Honestly, I do not have the
So
understanding
when I
of
saw,
what is
when
happening.
I was checking Twitter yesterday and I saw he was trending, I said, did I miss something in his case? Only for me to go and look and see why he was trending. I'm like, okay. And you know, let's just recount for conversation's sake the number of charges against Yahaya Bello. Conspiracy and money laundering. Bello, alongside his nephew Ali Bello, Dauda Suleiman, and Abdusalam Hudu, are accused of conspiring to launder funds to the tune of, please hold on, I need to check my decimal spaces, 100,000 million bill, 80 billion, 246 million, 470,000, 89 and 88 kobo. I always ask where the kobo comes from. Yeah. Criminal breach of trust. The defendants allegedly mismanaged Kogi State Treasury funds, breaching their trust. Misappropriation of public funds. Bello and his co-defendants are accused of using state treasury funds to acquire numerous properties, including high-end locations in Abuja and Dubai. Yahya Bello is facing separate 16-count charges for allegedly misappropriating 110.4 billion naira in state funds during his tenure as governor. Do you remember the payments of school fees
of his children?
That even prepaying in advance. That the school had to come out and say that they were going to return the money to the Kogi State Treasury and all that. And you know, when we talk about corruption, I think one of the things many of us struggle, either the people who are activists in this good governance and corruption thing, or people who are having conversations, is making the connections for the people. So when, again, allegedly, when we have politicians who are allegedly siphoning and misappropriating funds, that's bad education for your children. That's a bad road that's not fixed.
Of course,
that's a school who has a leaky roof that's not fixed. That's a teacher that's not being paid.
That's more hungry people dying.
That it's so much. And it's like, do we fail to make the connections as to these accusations, allegations, and then those who are eventually convicted, and the state of life of many Nigerians?
I would even expect the state to be at a standstill, waiting for the final outcome of this.
Maybe we missed it. I'm surprised the governor did not receive him.
I'm like, what is the celebration for? He's just been granted
million naira bail.
And they are not even like, okay, where did you see that kind of money, or who stood shorty for you for that kind of... Honestly, Nigerians surprise me. Sometimes I have no words for them.
We're recording more and more moral decadence, because I want to believe that these are people of his community. If anything, at least they should frown upon the fact that you're even being put on the spotlight for such terrible, alleged crimes.
Accusation.
It is something that they should cover their eyes in shame, at least until maybe he's vindicated, if ever he is. But then look at the crowd welcoming him. Amidst that crowd, there are people hoping to get some meager amount of money. And it just baffles me, honestly.
In fact, honestly.
Tolu mentioned that she's surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the governor actually welcomed him, but, low-key.
It's true. So the court granted him bail in the sum of 500 million naira with 2 sureties in like sum. So 2 other people had to deposit 500 million. So his bail in totality is like, what, 1.5 billion? Then the sureties also must own properties within the court's jurisdiction. He was also required to deposit his international passport with the Deputy Chief Registrar of the court, submit recent passport photographs, and swear an affidavit of means. The affidavit of means will probably explain the 500 million naira bail, but we won't have access to that. And there are a lot of other things. Some of the charges against him include alleged fraudulent transactions involving billions of naira and foreign currencies carried out between 2016 and 2023 through various companies. Now, again, everyone is innocent until proven guilty, and he has denied all the charges. But I don't know. We're not. The whole town may think that he is being set up, because that's another thing I think our politicians are very good at doing. They're good at misdirecting or redirecting our attention, and redirecting our attention to these perceived enemies, these enemies who want to set me up, who want to tarnish my political image, who want to make you think I'm not doing anything. But there are, the EFCC, I believe, is going to lay out cold, hard facts
and where did he
and
even
trails
go?
of transactions.
Where was he all the while?
Oh, he apologized to the court for failing to show up, but didn't really explain. And he said that it wasn't actual contempt of court, but he's very sorry that he did not show up.
Ah, sigh. Honestly,
So when I saw the video of him walking into court, all smiles and waving as though it was a Beyonce
this is the
concert.
victory.
Yes.
This thing we do when it's for victory.
It just made me realize that he knows that he has backing. From where I don't
I get
know.
backing, oh, I know they walk alone.
Is that an actual song or you're making it up?
It's an actual song.
Who sang it?
Victor Orenzi.
Victor
I'm so
Orenzi,
sorry.
yeah.
I didn't
But
know.
not Christian song.
So is it because it's a Christian song? I won't know it. What are you saying?
No, as in,
There's an issue at hand that is tarnishing my image. Can we focus on that?
Focus
Oh,
on his
please.
Kogiites.
Kogiites
You know
or
what? Let's
whatever.
even move away from
Let's
it. It's
move
very
away.
depressing. It's a very depressing
Are we
story.
going
We
on
have some
break?
reactions. We'll go.
We'll go.
You guys are tired of. Wow.
It's not honestly, I'm just a bit confused at what to make of this, because we're not just talking about Yaya Bello, we're talking about the people who gathered, and for what purpose?
To celebrate their son, to welcome home their
back.
son.
There were even people blowing the traditional
And please, just to
vuvuzela.
put this out there, those people were not all co-guides, right?
Oh,
They're
really?
just-
Were
they're
you
just the
there
Ebira
to
people.
verify?
I know the song they're singing. That's an Ebira song.
Oh,
Mom, Let's take some reactions while Blessings is going. She's traveling back to her father's land. Let's take reactions to this story, because it was a trending topic on Twitter. Yes, on X. Why do I keep saying Twitter? On X, reactions.
Twitter is sweet.
All right, so Nigerian politicians are the luckiest politicians in the world. I think even without reading further, I want to agree. For the fact that Yahaya Bello looted, I'll help you add, allegedly looted 86.4 billion naira from Kogi State Treasury, thereby looting and stealing the futures of the children of these poor people that are clapping for him while he's parading the street to his hometown. Kenneth tells us that Nigerians are not ready for the change they're clamoring for. In China, corrupt public officials are executed. Meanwhile, in Nigeria, corrupt public officials are welcomed with open hands. Two different countries with different priorities. What else do we have in terms of reactions? This is an example of a people gathering together all their life's financial earnings and their children's financial future and giving it to one person. Tomorrow they'll say this: God isn't fair to us. We are hungry and our children are dying of disease, but no one is helping us. And it's a lot, of course, but because of time, we have to go on a break. And
I'm glad that guy even mentioned that. China, Vietnam, and one other country. You would have been sitting down thinking about whether or not
you're going to die.
Let's go on a break. I'll take us to the break. The ladies are not with it right now. We'll be back. We have more stories coming your way right after this. This is Jasiri, and we're keeping your hot topics fresh and special for you. Now we keep the train moving as we look at the hot stories of the past week, which were some of the last trending stories of 2024. Now this story takes us international, as President Tinubu has found himself on a less than distinguished list. Nigeria's president found himself voted onto the list of the most corrupt leaders in the world. The ranking was done by the Organized Crime Corruption Reporting Project Network, a global network of investigative journalists from 6 continents. Now, the network carried out research that they said led them to list several world leaders as a person of the year in organized crime and corruption. The top 3 awardees are Africans. Make of that what you will. But I think it's also important for us to give some more context in what they have been doing. Now, they announced that it's actually ousted Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad, who was the 2024 winner of the Person of the Year award. And since 2012, OCCRP's Person of the Year award has singled out those who do the most to wreak havoc around the world through organized crime and corruption. The winner is chosen by an expert panel of judges across civil society, academia, and journalism. There's also a Lifetime Non-Achievement Award that was given to Equatorial Guinea President Theodore Obiang Nguema Mabasogo. And that's the first time in this contest's 13-year history that judges have awarded a special Lifetime Non-Achievement Award
Award.
He's one of the longest-serving dictators in the world, and after leading a coup in 1979 to seize power from his uncle, he has brutally repressed any dissent with unlawful arrests, forced disappearance, and tortures. And then you get on to those who were voted. So they asked for people to nominate. At the top of the nomination list was Kenya's President William Ruto, who received the most votes. An unprecedented number of people, according to the OCCRP, that's more than 40,000 people, wrote in to nominate the Kenyan president, and they've said that fueled by contentious finance bill proposal, youth unemployment, and rage at the corrupt government, young Kenyans had held demonstrations for weeks in June and July of 2024, demanding that he step down. Security forces responded with tear gas, water cannons, arrests, and bullets, and many people were killed, injured, or went missing. Now, of course, they acknowledge the importance of public interest and outrage at corruption, but since the award is given to the person who has done the most to wreak havoc, they ultimately chose Bashir al-Assad as the winner. But I don't, what's that thing you say when you want to acknowledge, no, oh my God, the English is gone. Our president made it to, was nominated on the nomination list, on the voted list. This means he was voted.
It was nominated.
I think that a lot of people didn't even know about this award because he would have not been, it would be top 3, but not 2 or 3, really.
And this is not something good. It's not something palatable. It's something we should all cringe at. It's cringeworthy, actually, that they would nominate our president, and he's not even a past president. He's a sitting president. That means it's an ongoing thing, or how people feel about him, or what they've investigated or thought they investigated, and they put him on that list.
I actually do like that. I mean, I don't know the level of fairness. I know that it's according to votes and all, but I like that these things are being exposed for people to see, for people to also weigh in and express their dissatisfaction.
Yeah. At least next year, people will be more
eager to vote.
The one that busts my bubble is the non-achievement lifetime award. That means you took an award for empty life, nothing done, no notable contribution or achievement in your country. And for God's sake, why can't you just let the president serving go?
This was also the man that recently, I think, I shall know it was in the last quarter of the year that there was speculation that he had passed away. And there was a lot of issue as to whether or not he was still alive because he had not been seen in public for a while. There's also the issues with his son as well. His son is wanted. I think he's in Brazil now. He was, I can't remember, but his son looks like him, playboy, glasses and everything. If you see his bevy of cars, they live in France a lot. It's a lot, you know. And when you look at it, they said that President Tinubu received some 55,000 nominations, making him one of the top finalists. Of course, as we said, William Ruto got the most, and then they were closely followed by Joko Widodo, the ex-president of Indonesia. I don't think this is anything, and I've seen a lot of people online sort of cheery at this news and, you know, just laughing about it, and it's a lot of people didn't know about the OCCRP before this came out and before the president made it on the list. A lot of people would not have paid attention if the president wasn't on the list. And it's just something that I think it calls for a moment of reflection. Yes, there have been a lot of questions about the president's background, source of wealth, certain things like that. But at this point, we're not looking at him as the individual Bola Tinubu. We're looking at him as the president of the Federal Republic
of Nigeria.
And I remember on radio sometimes when people wanted to castigate the president, you had to remind them that your respect that is being paid is not being paid to the individual, but it's being paid to the office. It's being paid to the office. So this story, it sits with me in different ways, but when I see a lot of the reactions online and sort of the glee, let's be honest about it, the glee that some people have on this, it's a difficult conversation to have, and I don't think we have enough time to have that conversation in totality.
I feel like people have disrespected the office because those in the office have actually disrespected the office.
That is the problem.
It's not, this is not the kind of conversation we should, years ago we would not just, you know, people would not just go on social media and laugh about things like this.
And this is our president, and what is really painful is that he's a sitting president. It's even okay when you say it's a past president or former president. At least you say, oh, he has done his, but this one is sitting, and that people would name him and vote him. It's something we should, as a people, reflect upon and like we have to do better.
Is it about choosing better leaders? Is it about the quality of our leadership?
No, Tolu, I think it's about us being better people.
Conversation.
I think it's about us being better people. Because Nigerians are not, sometimes when I hear we get the leaders that we deserve, I need to accent to it. Yesterday I tried to take money off a POS person, and she actually added money to it. 10,000 naira, she collected 400 naira as her...
Instead of 200, I think.
Yeah, 2 or 300. And I said to her, I said, you're part of Nigeria's problem. She just threw her face away that it doesn't concern me. That's
because she knows you're limited in the places you can access cash.
I could actually access cash at that time. And I'm saying that we as a people need to do better. If we do better as a people, this corruption that we all talk about, it's I would say that it's endemic. It's endemic. It's like a cancer. Almost everybody carries it about. And now we're giving it to the next generation. And what they will do, oh my God, I don't even think we've ever seen the kind of things that these Gen Alphas and Betas will do with the antecedent they've seen or the precedents that has gone ahead of them. I won't be surprised that one day you will come and they've sold Nigeria completely. And one foreign company will just come and say, we own all your gold mines. You say, how? Say, see my certificate.
Oh God, Lola, we have 2 more stories.
Anyway, our next story is one we discussed a little bit. We talked about it a little bit this week. In the last days of December 2024, DJ Khaled publicly announced the end of her 8th-month marriage to Ohis Emmanuel, accusing him of infidelity and sexual abuse of a 13-year-old girl under their roof over a 6-month period. Yes, you heard me. Even me, I had to stop and, punching on the words. And in these 6 months, inside the 8 months of the marriage, a video surfaced online showing Mr. Emmanuel and DJ Khaled with the maid, where he was seen confessing to these acts, attributing his behavior to the influence of the devil, as usual. I think we have the video of the confession.
So sorry. Find the way you are to forgive me and forgive us. Please, don't be angry, please. And when next my wife needs you, she will let you know. So for Christmas, you just hold this for your Christmas. Use it to buy anything you like. So sorry, and I think I have this watch for you to be ready.
Thank you, sir.
Please don't be angry.
Are you sorry that my husband molested you? Please, yeah, sorry. The three of you. Thank you.
This is shocking. I'm like, she must have set him up
to get this confession on tape, because we know how difficult it is to get people, Nigerians these days, to believe. I think she set him up.
She set him up
to
because
get that confession.
To get that confession. Anyway, let's just finish up because this case is going somewhere. They said in a post announcing the end of a marriage, she revealed that he had molested his cousin and her friend, which also led to the cousin contracting an infection. In response to these allegations, the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency has initiated an investigation. The agency emphasized the zero-tolerance stance against such acts and has reached out to DJ Khaled for more information. No, Tolu, I'm really like, they put their hand in their pocket and give the girl money.
There's one more video. Let's quickly look at this one.
Okay.
No, ma.
Come inside. Favor, speak up. You and who did my husband? Talk waiting in the doing cycle.
Used to molest my friend Fitia inside car every night. Anytime we come to my friends,
you will be your breast.
It's always our breast, and we bring out this. We should be massaging it.
Oh yes, you hear? Oh, it's true or false? It's true. Oh yeah, did you see your wife? Did you see how beautiful, God-fearing, hardworking your wife is? The same way you see, almost 13 years, London roof for me. Almost 13 years. Eshubo, Akonkini.
Excuse me, which church? Wait, which church? Mommy favor, it's a bad change for you. You don't know what it is. Wait. Mommy, Besheri Oyisi, Boshen Lola, Chebi should do a lily. Kebo coming. Mommy, Mommy favor, already master about Muinu be or Tammy. Why are you talking like this as a mother? And you're more or less on my year as a mother. You are saying that one fish. Oh, more or less on your knee because she shake a lesson from one fish in short of 20 girls. Mommy favor is in bomb 13 years is so.
You know, I avoided this story.
No, you can't avoid it.
No, as in initially, I refused to watch the video because I'm totally miffed at the woman that is talking.
That is mommy.
Yoruba still believe we pay one fee share. A man is without discipline, is uncouth, he has no moral standing, is molesting young children up and down, and you have the audacity to talk and say one fee share.
I don't know why he has
Killer Fisher.
Even
Even this girl, I'm so proud of DJ Khaled. I am so proud of the fact that she did not say because she wants to stay married. Because there are many women that this will open up to. And they will be encouraged by that kind of woman talking to keep everything under wraps. Who should she marry me?
When we lightly touched on this story during the week, what did I tell you? It was the reactions that I saw that when you get married, you're meant to protect each other.
Protect your husband and abuser?
You're meant to cover each other's shame. You're not meant to expose their weaknesses to the world. That women of this generation, they don't have tolerance. They don't know how to endure anymore. And I'm thinking to myself, you want a wife to be in a house and endure her husband molesting a 13-year-old. Eventually, they will have a child. What if if it's a girl?
It's not 13, what is it? I mean, that's what would have happened.
Is it not his DNA?
And cover the shame of him molesting his cousin, a relative, and her friend, and giving that one infection, as she said. You want her to cover the shame and endure. She talked about more than 20.
Yes.
So there's infidelity and there's molestation. So it appears that there are grown women he's been cheating with, and there are children that he's been molesting as well.
My major issue is
what
the likes
Afishe
of
will end
mommy
you in
favor.
prison.
That woman.
How can she be mommy favor? Who is she favoring?
That was the mother of one of the children.
One of the children.
Because the DJ Khaled said that. How would you even say something? I mean, you should be the one fighting it. I don't even know why the guy.
No, Tolu, this is what Tolu would say when she was saying it, I think yesterday, that where would you say the girl child is protected?
Where?
Not in their home, not in their family house, not in the church, not in the mosque, not in public places, not in the market, and yet we have women enablers that would...
And I keep saying, the thing she did for me is having this documented. The moment
I'm
that
so proud
she
of
looked
her.
at him and she asked him and said, is it true? And he said it's true.
Yes.
I was holding out. Even me, I avoided it. I've seen everything. But I avoided listening. When he said yes, there was just something that just washed over me. And the fact that she has it documented, even though, yes, a confession like that can still be challenged in court and will likely be challenged by his lawyer. But it comes on the same day. We're talking about this morning on the news. They were talking to someone, 133 girls, women killed in gender-related violence in 2024 in Nigeria. All of these things are layers of the same issue. We do not value the lives of women and children.
No.
Particularly women and girls. We do not think that they own their lives. Somebody else's need for control, somebody else's lust, somebody else's unmitigated discipline and evilness is more important than protecting the lives and safeguarding women and girls in this country. This is not one case, and I don't want anybody to think that this is just an off case. I'm in this same Lagos.
I'm so proud of this DJ Khaled because I know that they would have told her all sorts of things. You just married.
So imagine if she had come out with just the statements and allegations without proof.
Yes.
We know what kind of rabid mob we can be in this country.
Of course.
So she backed everything.
Yeah,
I suspect that she has been gathering all this.
Yes.
Probably is not the entirety of the evidence that she has. I suspect she's been gathering all the evidence for her to finally come out. She said, "Okay, I feel like
And
I
somebody,
have enough."
do you know how? I know they should take that girl to rehabilitate to a therapist, because you don't know what it means for you to take your vows 8 months ago with someone,
8 months,
pledging forever, and you turn around and he's an abuser. Of course, he has shared your bed, he has shared, you bear his name, and yet he does this or has been doing this, because I know before they got to this point, he's not.
That was the next point I wanted to make, because you know, even in the conversation we had lightly during the week, we talked about the fact that when some Nigerian men, again, we're not saying all men, but when some Nigerian men leave the shores of Nigeria, they don't leave the mentality and the treatment of how women are viewed and girls are viewed here. They take it abroad with them, and they're getting themselves in trouble.
Of course.
People are getting deported. They're finding themselves up against rape charges.
Yes.
They're finding themselves up against molestation charges and in jail. But it comes back to the foundation here. We have an enabling environment for rape and molestation of children, of women in this country, and we need to confront it. Because when we talk about trauma, what do you expect this? Okay, the maid will leave them eventually. She goes somewhere. She's carrying the trauma.
Of course, when that maid gets into somebody else's house and she becomes an agent of darkness to destroy the entire place she is in, you'll be wondering, it's because she's a house help. It's a combination of our experiences.
So I think a lot of people also we need to start making parents aware of what the signs of children being molested are. They start, either they withdraw, they lose their appetite. You'll see almost a visual, physical reaction to the person. So that person might come inside, all of a sudden the child is gone. And you know, you all come and greet uncle, come and clean. The child wants nothing to do, but we don't think they have agency. We force them into being in close spaces with that person. The flip side of that is that children start repeating the behavior.
Of course, they start to exhibit it.
Some younger children start practicing and mimicking that behavior with other children. Sometimes it leads to promiscuity and sexually dangerous behavior. So if you're looking at a child, a young adult, engaging in some of these things, there's a root cause. There are too many people in this country who carry the scars of sexual molestation, rape, and violence against them, and we think we're going to be okay.
I think at this point we have a lot more women enablers, like you mentioned. Because how do we fight this when the mothers are asking you two, what did you wear? You two, why did you go there? And eventually you find out that they're molesting a child.
And the mother too is saying, what fi shame?
You see, this desperation to cover up secret and to stay in marriage is killing a lot of and birthing dangerous generations, like Tolu said, because you want to cover up something. Do you know how many parents have covered up, how many mothers have covered up molestation, but that their husband, it's just.
I'm sure there are reactions. Can we take some?
We can quickly take some, because this story.
We're almost done. Let's take some reactions. Because I know Nigerians can be funny.
Someone said she might have been seeing the signs before they got married, but she was hoping he would change. If they do not change during courtship, they will not change in marriage. Marry well. This says, if these accusations are true, is he already in jail? Children need to be kept safe from people like him. Tagging Lagos DSV and CCR. Kindly look into this issue, investigate the claims, and take the necessary action. Every child deserves protection, no matter who they are or where they come from. Thank you. What else do we have? An unfaithful partner will make you insecure and very toxic. From that video, you'll know she's insecure. Then somebody replies and said, but the guy is very stupid and evil. And then the person replies back, if the allegations are right, he's supposed to do crossover behind cell. But after you called her insecure.
Insecure.
Someone said, don't believe woman. Oh, she might be the one cheating, but with the guy, they look where he go marry woman will be like Bobrisky. And of course, he's been accused of being a pedo apologist and confessed to his actions.
Guys, when I read some reactions that the way the Nigerians think, I am very afraid for our next generation. Is it that many of them are unschooled in their minds, that they do not even know how to responsibly read? Well, of course, a lot of Nigerian youths, they hardly read what you put. You can just put a picture and say, I'm so happy for today. They'll say, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, yes.
I am wondering, that means they do not really
so quick
read.
To comment.
And they just want to comment. They want to be sarcastic. They do not even know how to intelligently reply
because
to things.
Does this have anything to even do with
this?
How are you dragging Bobrisky into this matter?
What kids? What you consider Bobrisky?
What's the connection? And that point you made, Lolo, I want to speak to it one more time. They've been married for 8 months. He's done what she's alleged in the past 8 months or in the 6 months. He was molesting the 13-year-old for 6 months of the 8-month marriage. She may have seen signs, and then she may not have seen signs. But the point I want to make is, I can bet you that this guy has been doing this longer than the marriage. Most likely longer than their relationship.
Yeah.
Longer than their relationship. I mean, it speaks to the point that every time we cover up, when you cover up a 14-year-old, when you cover up a 15-year-old, when you cover up a 10-year-old, when you don't give them treatment,
50-year-old
when you don't exactly, when you don't cover,
you're creating the monster.
17-year-old, when you say Joella no konishema, when you do that from the time that they are young children and boys, in most situations, and sometimes young girls, you are leading to a situation where a grown man will be coming after 13, 14, 12, 11, 10-year-old girls because we continue to
and we are giving them years to perfect
Exactly.
So by the time he's 35, he's already an established rapist that know how to cover everything
up. And it gets more dangerous because
of course
you would see cases of 50-year-old rapes and stabs, rapes and kills. You know, so it becomes more dangerous, it becomes more violent. You're raping a child. What story was that? That a man, was it 50 or 60-something-year-old man, lured a girl from a nursery classroom. Out of the class and raped her and killed her.
That was, I think, November or October.
Last year. I just pray that as we're starting the year with this kind of thing, I just hope that we will not have an avalanche of such happenings, because this alone is so distasteful in the mouth.
But it must be spoken about.
It must be spoken about.
We will not be parts of the cover-up.
Never.
We will be parts of the expose and a part of changing things for young victims, young
I just hope they will not begin to victimize that girl, even in a family.
Let's see what happens.
Anyways, I mean, this is a sad story to wrap up with. I did have fun with the earlier stories, but this story just threw me off. Well, it's a weekend, and I'm already pumped, like I said. It's ready to wind down. Let's raise our glasses, ladies, to living our best lives, making the most of 2025, exposing the menace in the society, because we will not stop talking. We'll see you same time, same place next week.
Bye. Come on, give me some.